Hey there, YouTube. How's it going? I'm JP Natural, and today we're going to be taking a look at a slight twist on a visual novel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Citizen Sleeper 1 for the PlayStation 5. And of course, what perfect timing, as I just found out recently that Sleeper Citizen 2 is going to be releasing in the near future. How near future? I didn't check. But also because I've been playing this as I've seen a few friends of mine take a look at Citizen Sleeper over on their Twitch channel, so hey, maybe I should take a look at this myself. Get to hear more of that patented quote-unquote voice acting. The best I could do with a headset mic. Yeah, see, there it is. Citizen Sleeper 2 announced. Can I see? Oh, no. Oh, okay, that's just so you can use that QR code to check on the latest details. But I have no opinion on Citizen Sleeper 1 yet. Best we gotta find out for ourselves. Actually, if I'm gonna be able to read this, the best way to move about is actually to go about this way. Ooh, you get to see me on the left this time. But anyway, let's go ahead and start our new... Actually... Okay. Yeah, English. Okay, just want to make sure. I forgot, this is a visual novel, so... Not really any need for subtitles, since the whole game is a subtitle. Alright, so we get to pick our... either one of the two, or I guess... 3 character classes. Let's see. Let's take a look at each of them. The Machinist. Or a Machinist, I guess. Machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to Machinist, Machinist worker usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Engineer gets +1, but Engaged gets -1. Operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Nope. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers are assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Well, I am none of those 3 classes. Let's just go with the default operator. They have a perk of getting a cryo on interface actions. They have +1 interface, but -1 for endurance. Let's go ahead and start the game. Ooh. Did you hear that rumble? Alright. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's worse when waking, when you yourself have spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be embodied that was indisputably yours. Should I think or forget? Let's think on it. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound. The friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensation fades out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful. Not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now there are thousands of them. The pain of the others. Let's remember the others. You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day, until they realized they had sold everything away. That they sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if in the airless hold of a freighter you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Let's try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are totally aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body is still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. Probably the downside of having low endurance. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Oh. Let's look around our surroundings here. It looks like we're on a space station. But it seems like there's only one place we can go. Dragos. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ship, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper? Y'all thawed yet? Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. You frames must have better perseverance than Sub-Zero vac. Seen more than a few you frozen solid to whole plates or inside-outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbolically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do to you. I plan to survive. You aren't sure if he hears you. I want to ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms. The cold floor on your feet as you patted the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot. A copy. While you won't know what's ahead, at least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S&R wants to protect their property, but they can't keep hold of you. Well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were a part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, Sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards that glassy dome on the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got to get things to get getting on with. He trails off. There's no freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. I haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the Rex, his drones already converging on a resting Hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Alright, welcome to Erland's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the container location to rest and end the cycle now. Alright. That it? Yep. Let's go ahead and end the cycle then. Since there's nothing more we can do right now. Alright, container. You wait curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? I say building a life. Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here on the edge of everything there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe, if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some dissipated power. You thumb the power stud of the stove and you begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood. You sprinkle them onto the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal, ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best as you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Alright. Condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. That's the top meter there. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You have to figure out how to regain your condition now that you have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Well, you don't have access. Alright, 2. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you will roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions, and you must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. You also need energy. You need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. Alright, hopefully we can, hopefully we'll be able to get things done. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it's implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cachet of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of the container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to the shipyard so the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figured as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Wait, chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo. Isolated from the market. It's what we use to trade for out here. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in a pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually be doing this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. Sleepers, well, trails off. But things being the way they are, that they are for me at the yard. He pauses. I need the help. Happy to. Okay. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Alright, let's go. Alright, actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, select it with the D-pad and X, and then choose an action dice to assign. Alright, let me just disappear myself real quick so I can read this. Action rewards your clock progress, energy conditions, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcomes. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. And negative, the action fails. Alright. Actions display information about their type, risk level, and the skill and modifiers that they apply to the action. A 1-type risk, either critical or repeatable critical actions, can only be performed once. 2 risk, 1 type, 2 risk, either safe, risky, or danger. Safe is no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky means negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Or danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. 3. The skill that the action requires, either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier either 1, -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Alright. So what should I do? We can't do negative. We're gonna have to do, let's do hold this section. Best one we need is this one right here. Or can we, oh yeah, there we go. We have to start the action. There we go. Clocks. Action often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the action that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad, is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's death, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Alright, well we have to do manual salvage next. You're now free to explore Elvin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress story and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you're out of dice. Alright. Oh. No, now we need to actually 50% positive. Why not? Let's risk it. Nice. Alright, now let's back out, try to find something. What's this? Dock C4. Helium crossing. Oh, I guess there's nothing we can do there. We need to try to find a doctor. Where should I go? Oh, you could... Oh, I didn't even realize you could just rotate it like that. How about the rotunda here? Oh, here we go. Steal dock plans. Actually, no. No. I was trying to... how do I move it over? Oh, there we go. I think. Oh, of course, I'm not going to figure out how to do it right. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. It's over here. Duh. Oh. Of course, I'm pressing the wrong button. Alright, why not? Let's ask her directions. Oh, there we go. We got some local knowledge. The buy market is the busiest piece of the I's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. Perfect. How do I... Oh, there we go. Next! Comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hat block, and They all have made the long queue a test of your nerve, but your options are few, and without supply of stabilizer, your body will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle towards the front of the queue. Try to find something to distract yourself. Let's look inside. You lean against the doorframe and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. A slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. "Wait your turn," he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above. For a moment, you are transfixed on by the motion. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, placing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. "Please, sit." They gesture towards the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Your tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead in daze from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask, the scanner still to their eye. Don't answer. They lower the scanner and meet your eye. "You can talk." They glance towards the doorway. "I know the conditions aren't ideal, but I need you to be honest with me." They make some adjustments to the scanner. "Or you can leave." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm, roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose, to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or, in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. "Sound familiar?" "Yes." "Good. That may help." They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They're influential in the low end. They gave me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. "But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporation's own Ember. If they could source a stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance." Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it." "Why help me?" Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadow of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave. Sabine's still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels on the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Alright. Let's go to the vendor. Oh, here we go. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in the plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket, and customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Let's approach him. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, and a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Emphasis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. Of course. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you. You sleepers. Emphasis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and the dark of the container, and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you. You're unsure where to walk, where to look, and what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we could talk some more. He smiles, but next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button at the burner side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its oppressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. There we go. Believe there's one more thing we can do. Well, there's only one thing left to do, is try to work again. Back at Dragos' yard. We'll have to take the 50-50. Oh no, wrong one. You have to use the whole dissection, or dissection. There we go. Hopefully we get something neutral or positive. Alright, so it was a mix. A little bit of energy, but at least we got some cryo. Alright, nothing left to do but go back to the empty container and end the cycle. And there we go, back to default. This time, you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No. You feel the station. Like a web of texture. So in a smooth black liquid. Let's observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see/feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It's a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you, insistently as if you were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in 2 directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. The station's played out across your mind, a storm of connected nodes waiting to be explored, and then it's gone. Alright. Well, at least we got automated saving. But in any case, that's going to do it for our look at Citizen Sleeper for the PlayStation 5. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Not often I get to go into these visual novels and try to quote-unquote test my voice acting, even though I'm not that good at it. I appreciate you all stopping by. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody, and goodbye.